One of the greatest mistakes many people make is believing that being excessively friendly is the same as being kind, wise, or valuable. It is not. When you become too friendly with everyone, you often begin to lose something far more important than approval. You lose your boundaries, your focus, and sometimes even your identity. A person who is always available, always agreeing, always trying to please others, eventually discovers that people may enjoy their presence, but they do not always respect their time, energy, or purpose. Your life was not designed to become a constant performance for the comfort of others. It was designed for growth, contribution, and meaningful achievement. The moment you realize that your value does not increase because everyone likes you, you begin to step into a higher level of personal maturity. Many people confuse friendliness with weakness. They think that saying yes to every request, tolerating every disrespect, and avoiding every difficult conversation will make them accepted. In reality, people often respect those who know when to say no. A strong individual understands that boundaries are not barriers against people. They are protections for purpose. If you allow everyone unrestricted access to your time and emotions, you will spend your best energy solving other people's problems while neglecting your own potential. The world rewards clarity, discipline, and direction. Excessive friendliness can sometimes become a distraction that pulls you away from your goals. Learn to be respectful without becoming controlled by the opinions and expectations of others. There is a difference between being approachable and being available for everything. A person with vision cannot respond to every invitation, every demand, every drama, and every unnecessary conversation. Successful people understand the value of selective engagement. They do not reject people. They reject anything that competes with their mission. When you become too friendly, you may start sacrificing your priorities just to maintain relationships that are not helping you grow. Ask yourself a powerful question. Am I building my future, or am I simply managing everyone else's emotions? Your destiny requires concentration. Your dreams require protected time. Your growth requires the courage to disappoint people who expect unlimited access to you. Another danger of being too friendly is that it can make you afraid of confrontation. You begin to avoid honest conversations because you do not want anyone to feel uncomfortable. But progress is impossible without truth. Leaders do not grow by avoiding difficult discussions. They grow by handling them with wisdom and confidence. If someone crosses a line, address it respectfully. If a relationship becomes one-sided, recognize it. If people only appear when they need something, pay attention. Maturity is not measured by how many people you can keep happy. It is measured by how honestly and responsibly you can manage your relationships. Real strength is the ability to remain calm, respectful, and firm at the same time. Understand this clearly. Your kindness should never require the abandonment of self-respect. You can care about people without allowing them to drain you. You can support others without carrying responsibilities that belong to them. You can be compassionate without becoming emotionally exhausted by every situation around you. When you become too friendly, you may unintentionally teach people that your needs come last. Over time, that creates resentment, frustration, and fatigue. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not constant self-sacrifice. The strongest individuals are often the ones who know how to give without losing themselves in the process. Many opportunities are missed because talented people spend too much time seeking approval. They hesitate to make bold decisions because they worry about what friends will think. They delay pursuing their goals because they fear criticism. They remain in environments that limit their growth because they do not want to appear distant. But greatness requires separation from mediocrity. Sometimes you must become less available to distractions in order to become more available to your future. This does not mean becoming rude, arrogant, or isolated. It means becoming intentional. It means understanding that every hour you spend trying to be accepted is an hour that could have been invested in developing your skills, building your vision, and strengthening your character. The truth is that not everyone deserves the same level of access to your life. Some people are meant to be close, some are meant to be acquaintances, and some are only passing through your journey. Wisdom is knowing the difference. When you treat every relationship as equally important, you create confusion in your priorities. Protect your inner circle carefully. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, encourage your ambitions, and respect your boundaries. A meaningful relationship is not measured by how often you talk. It is measured by how much it contributes to your growth, peace, and progress. As you move forward, make a decision to be kind but not naive, respectful but not submissive, approachable but not constantly available. Let your friendliness come from confidence, not from the fear of being rejected. Let your generosity come from strength, not from the need to be liked. The world does not need another person who says yes to everything. It needs individuals who understand their value, protect their purpose, and lead their lives with clarity. When you stop being too friendly, you do not become less human. You become more intentional. And an intentional life is the foundation of lasting success, influence, and fulfillment. Many people spend their lives protecting their popularity while neglecting their boundaries, and that is one of the fastest ways to lose control over their own future. They believe that if everyone is happy with them, then they must be doing something right. But popularity is temporary, while character is permanent. A person who is constantly chasing acceptance often sacrifices principles, time, and peace of mind. The desire to be liked can quietly become a prison where every decision is based on someone else's expectations instead of personal conviction. The strongest individuals are not driven by the fear of disappointing people. They are driven by the commitment to protect what matters most. Your future depends far more on your discipline than on your popularity. Never allow applause to become more important than purpose. Every successful life is built upon boundaries. Think of the most valuable things in the world. A nation's borders are protected because they represent security. A priceless treasure is locked away because it has great value. Even your own home has doors, walls, and locks, not because you hate people, but because you understand that valuable things must be protected. Your life deserves the same level of protection. Your time, your energy, your focus, and your emotional well-being are among your greatest assets. If you leave them open to everyone without limits, you should not be surprised when they are constantly interrupted, exhausted, and misused. Boundaries are not signs of selfishness. They are signs that you recognize the value of what you have been entrusted with. One of the most powerful words you will ever learn is the word no. Many people are uncomfortable saying it because they fear rejection or criticism. Yet every meaningful yes in your life is protected by 1,000 necessary no's. Every time you say yes to unnecessary distractions, you are silently saying no to your own dreams. Every time you agree to something that does not align with your priorities, you reduce the time available for the work that truly matters. Successful people understand that every decision carries a cost. They do not measure opportunities by whether people will approve. They measure them by whether they move them closer to their purpose. Saying no is not closing doors on people. It is opening doors for your own growth. There will always be individuals who expect unlimited access to your time because they have become accustomed to your constant availability. The moment you begin protecting your boundaries, some people may misunderstand your actions. They may say you have changed, become distant, or become difficult. In reality, you have simply become intentional. Growth always changes the way you manage your relationships because maturity teaches you that unlimited availability often creates unlimited demands. You cannot build an extraordinary future while allowing everyone else to control your daily schedule. Your calendar should reflect your priorities, not the endless expectations of other people. Respect is earned when people recognize that your time has value, and that value begins with how you treat it yourself. Protecting your boundaries does not mean becoming cold, arrogant, or indifferent. It means learning to communicate with confidence, kindness, and clarity. You can refuse a request without rejecting a person. You can disagree without creating conflict. You can protect your peace while still treating everyone with dignity and respect. True confidence is not loud or aggressive. It is calm and consistent. It understands that you do not have to explain every decision or justify every boundary. The people who genuinely respect you will also respect your limits. And as you continue to value your own time, energy, and purpose, you will discover that protecting your boundaries is not about keeping people out. It is about making sure your life remains focused on the future you are determined to build. Many people spend years searching for approval without realizing that approval is one of the weakest foundations upon which to build a life. The opinions of people are constantly changing. Someone who applauds you today may criticize you tomorrow, and someone who ignores you today may celebrate you in the future. If your confidence depends on the reactions of others, then your emotions will rise and fall with every compliment and every criticism. A person who is controlled by approval can never experience true freedom because every decision must first pass through the court of public opinion. The moment you stop asking, will people like this, and start asking, will this move me closer to my purpose, your entire life begins to change. Confidence is born when your direction becomes more important than other people's validation. Every individual has unique abilities, gifts, and untapped potential waiting to be developed. Unfortunately, many never discover them because they spend too much time trying to fit into other people's expectations. Instead of building their own vision, they become occupied with maintaining an image that earns acceptance. They choose careers they do not enjoy, remain in environments that limit their growth, or silence their ideas because they fear being judged. Yet the greatest achievements in history were accomplished by people who were willing to think differently and remain committed to their convictions even when they were misunderstood. Progress has never belonged to those who constantly seek permission. It belongs to those who have the courage to pursue meaningful goals despite uncertainty and criticism. Purpose demands your full attention. It requires focused thinking, disciplined action, and consistent effort over long periods of time. Approval, on the other hand, scatters your attention in every direction. You begin adjusting your words to satisfy one group, changing your behavior to impress another, and abandoning your priorities just to avoid disappointing someone else. Eventually, you become so busy managing perceptions that you no longer have the energy to build your future. Success is not created by pleasing the crowd. It is created by remaining faithful to the work that truly matters. Every hour invested in developing your knowledge, improving your skills, and strengthening your character produces greater rewards than an hour spent worrying about what people might say. There will always be critics. No matter how carefully you live, someone will misunderstand your intentions, question your decisions, or underestimate your abilities. Trying to satisfy everyone is an impossible assignment because people see life through different experiences, expectations, and perspectives. If you make pleasing everyone your goal, you will constantly change direction and never build momentum. A person with purpose learns to welcome constructive feedback without becoming dependent on constant praise. They understand that correction can improve them, but approval does not define them. Their identity is rooted in their values, their discipline, and their commitment to growth, rather than in the fluctuating opinions of those around them. Imagine the difference your life could make if all the energy currently spent chasing acceptance were redirected toward personal development. Think about the books you could read, the skills you could master, the opportunities you could create, and the dreams you could pursue. Every day presents a choice. Invest your energy in winning temporary approval or invest it in building lasting significance. One fades as quickly as opinions change. The other continues producing results long after the applause has ended. The world remembers individuals who contributed something meaningful, not those who spent their lives trying to be accepted by everyone. Build your purpose with patience, protect it with discipline, and let your results speak louder than the opinions you once feared. Kindness is one of the greatest qualities a person can possess, but kindness without self-respect eventually becomes self-neglect. There is a significant difference between serving others and surrendering yourself to them. Many people have good hearts, yet they allow that goodness to be taken advantage of because they believe that protecting themselves is somehow selfish. They remain silent when they are disrespected, accept treatment they know is wrong, and continually sacrifice their own well-being just to avoid conflict. Over time, this creates frustration, exhaustion, and disappointment. Genuine kindness should never require you to lose your confidence, your peace of mind, or your sense of worth. The strongest individuals understand that respecting themselves is not the opposite of caring for others. It is what allows them to care for others in a healthy and sustainable way. Your self-respect teaches people how to treat you. The standards you establish become the standards others eventually recognize. If you constantly tolerate disrespect, ignore broken promises, or allow people to misuse your generosity without consequence, you quietly communicate that such behavior is acceptable. People often respond to the boundaries you consistently maintain rather than the words you occasionally speak. This is why confidence is reflected more through your actions than your conversations. A person who values themselves does not need to announce it repeatedly. They demonstrate it by protecting their time, honoring their commitments, and refusing to compromise their principles simply to keep others comfortable. Respect begins within, and once it becomes part of your character, it naturally influences every relationship in your life. Helping others is a noble responsibility, but carrying burdens that do not belong to you is not wisdom. Some individuals become so committed to solving everyone else's problems that they forget to develop their own potential. They exhaust themselves emotionally, financially, and mentally, trying to rescue people who have no intention of changing. Compassion does not mean accepting every responsibility that comes your way. Sometimes the greatest help you can offer is encouragement, guidance, or an opportunity, while allowing others to take responsibility for their own decisions. Growth happens when people learn to stand on their own feet, not when someone else continually carries them. Your energy is valuable, and where you invest it will determine the quality of your future. There is also a danger in believing that your worth depends on how much you give. If your identity is built upon being needed, you may continue giving long after it becomes unhealthy. You begin measuring your value by how available you are instead of by who you are becoming. This creates an endless cycle where you feel guilty whenever you choose your own priorities. But lasting success is not built by living in constant guilt. It is built by understanding that your first responsibility is to become the best version of yourself. When you continue to grow in wisdom, knowledge, discipline, and emotional strength, you increase your capacity to make a meaningful contribution. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot consistently strengthen others while allowing yourself to become depleted. The most influential people are not those who constantly say yes. They are those who know when to give, when to step back, and when to protect what is essential. They speak with kindness but stand with conviction. They treat every person with dignity without allowing anyone to diminish their own. They understand that humility is not weakness and confidence is not arrogance. True strength is the ability to remain compassionate without becoming controlled, generous without becoming exploited, and approachable without becoming overwhelmed. When kindness is balanced with self-respect, it becomes a source of lasting influence rather than personal exhaustion. You do not honor others by abandoning yourself. You create the greatest impact when your kindness flows from a place of strength, wisdom, and unwavering respect for your own value. The people you allow into your life will either multiply your potential or gradually diminish it. Every relationship carries influence, whether you recognize it or not. Conversations shape your thinking, habits shape your actions, and the people around you often shape both. This is why choosing relationships wisely is not an emotional decision alone. It is a strategic decision for your future. Too many people judge relationships by how long they have known someone rather than by the value that relationship is adding to their lives. Time alone does not make a relationship beneficial. A relationship should inspire growth, strengthen character, expand perspective, and encourage progress. If the people around you continually pull your attention away from your goals, then no matter how enjoyable their company may be, they are influencing the direction of your life more than you realize. One of the greatest signs of maturity is learning that not everyone deserves the same level of access to your life. Many individuals make the mistake of treating every acquaintance like a trusted friend, sharing their dreams, their plans, and their deepest thoughts with people who have never earned that level of trust. Wisdom teaches you that access is a privilege, not an entitlement. Just because someone enters your life does not mean they should occupy your inner circle. Every successful organization protects its most valuable resources. Every great leader protects important information until the right time. In the same way, you must protect your vision from unnecessary negativity, discouragement, and distractions. Your future is too valuable to place in the hands of people who neither understand it nor appreciate it. Pay close attention to how people affect your thinking after you spend time with them. Do you leave their company feeling inspired, motivated, and challenged to become better? Or do you leave feeling discouraged, distracted, and emotionally drained? This simple question can reveal the true quality of a relationship. Valuable people do not merely entertain you, they elevate you. They encourage accountability instead of excuses. They celebrate your growth instead of competing with it. They are honest enough to correct you when necessary and wise enough to support you without controlling you. Relationships built on mutual respect create an environment where both individuals continue developing. Those built only on convenience often become burdens that consume time without producing meaningful progress. It is also important to understand that every relationship has a purpose, but not every relationship has the same duration. Some people enter your life to teach a lesson. Others open a door to an opportunity. Some provide encouragement during a difficult season, while others remain loyal companions for many years. Problems begin when we refuse to recognize that seasons change. Holding on to relationships that no longer encourage growth simply because they are familiar can prevent new opportunities from entering your life. Personal development sometimes requires difficult decisions, including creating healthy distance from environments that repeatedly distract you from your goals. This is not an act of rejection, it is an act of responsibility. You cannot continue moving forward while carrying every unnecessary weight from your past. As your vision becomes clearer, your relationships should become more intentional. Instead of asking, "Who enjoys spending time with me?" begin asking, "Who challenges me to become a better version of myself?" Seek people who value integrity over popularity, discipline over excuses, and progress over comfort. Surround yourself with individuals who are committed to learning, improving, and pursuing meaningful goals, because excellence has a way of producing more excellence. At the same time, strive to become that kind of person for others. Be someone whose presence brings wisdom instead of confusion, encouragement instead of discouragement, and purpose instead of distraction. When you intentionally choose relationships that add value to your life, and when you become a source of value yourself, you create an environment where success, character, and lasting influence can continually grow together. One of the greatest habits that separates highly effective people from those who remain constantly overwhelmed is the ability to be intentional with their time and attention. Too many individuals believe they must always be available in order to be appreciated. They answer every call immediately, respond to every message without delay, attend every gathering, and involve themselves in every conversation, even when those things contribute nothing to their future. Gradually, their lives become filled with activity, but empty of progress. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Motion is not the same as advancement. A person who is constantly reacting to everyone else's priorities rarely has enough energy left to pursue their own. If you want to accomplish something meaningful, you must stop allowing your schedule to be controlled by every demand that comes your way. A focused life is built through intentional choices, not constant availability. Your time is one of the few resources that can never be replaced. Money can be earned again, opportunities can appear again, skills can be learned again, but once a day has passed, it is gone forever. Every hour you give away without purpose is an investment you can never recover. This is why successful people become careful stewards of their time. They understand that saying yes to every invitation often means saying no to their own development. They protect hours for learning, planning, improving their abilities, and working toward long-term goals because they know that extraordinary results are created through consistent investment in the right priorities. Every minute should serve your direction instead of distracting you from it. When you begin treating your time as something precious, others will also begin respecting it. Being intentional also means learning the difference between urgency and importance. Many things demand your attention, but very few truly deserve it. A ringing phone may feel urgent, yet it may have little value. A random conversation may seem harmless, yet it may consume the very time you needed to complete meaningful work. Distractions rarely announce themselves as obstacles. They often arrive disguised as opportunities, favors, entertainment, or harmless interruptions. This is why discipline is more valuable than emotion. Instead of asking, "What do I feel like doing right now?" ask yourself, "What action will move me closer to the future I want to build?" That single question has the power to transform your daily decisions. Intentional people are not controlled by impulse. They are guided by purpose. Do not mistake intentional living for becoming distant or uncaring. There is a profound difference between ignoring people and wisely managing your availability. You can still be respectful, approachable, and compassionate while protecting your schedule from unnecessary interruptions. In fact, people often place greater value on your presence when they know it is not available without purpose. Constant availability can unintentionally communicate that your time has little value, but when your actions demonstrate discipline and clear priorities, others begin to recognize that your commitments matter. The goal is not to become unavailable to people. The goal is to become fully available to the things that truly deserve your best energy, attention, and effort. Your greatest contributions will never come from being everywhere. They will come from being fully present where it matters most. Imagine the transformation that would take place if every decision in your day was guided by intention instead of pressure. Instead of reacting to every request, you would evaluate whether it aligns with your vision. Instead of filling your calendar with obligations that exhaust you, you would fill it with activities that strengthen your character, sharpen your abilities, and move you toward meaningful achievement. You would no longer measure your worth by how many people can reach you, but by how faithfully you invest your gifts and opportunities. The individuals who leave a lasting impact on the world are rarely the ones who are available for everything. They are the ones who know exactly what they have been called to accomplish, and they protect their focus with unwavering discipline. Live with intention, guard your time with wisdom, and let every choice reflect the future you are committed to creating. In the end, remember this powerful truth. Your life was never meant to be measured by how many people approve of you, how many favors you do, or how available you are to everyone around you. Your life is measured by the value you create, the character you build, and the purpose you fulfill. There is nothing wrong with being kind, respectful, generous, and approachable. Those qualities make you a better human being. But the moment kindness causes you to abandon your self-respect, your boundaries, your dreams, or your peace of mind, it is no longer serving you, it is limiting you. Real strength is not found in pleasing everyone. It is found in having the courage to remain true to your principles even when when others do not understand your choices. Never forget that every great achievement requires sacrifice. You cannot build an extraordinary future while trying to satisfy every expectation placed upon you. Every meaningful yes demands many necessary no's. Every significant goal requires focused attention. Every successful individual eventually learns that protecting time, protecting energy, and protecting purpose are not acts of selfishness. They are acts of responsibility. Your future deserves your best effort, not what is left after everyone else has taken a portion of your attention. Stop allowing distractions to determine your direction. Instead, let your vision guide every decision you make. As you leave with this message, make a commitment to become intentional in every area of your life. Be kind, but never let kindness become weakness. Be respectful, but never surrender your dignity. Be generous, but never at the cost of your own growth. Choose relationships that challenge you to become wiser, stronger, and more disciplined. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your progress instead of demanding your constant availability. Learn to value your time, because your time is your life in its most valuable form. Once it is gone, it can never be recovered. Most importantly, understand that your greatest responsibility is not to earn the approval of the crowd, but to become the highest version of yourself. The world does not need another person who is exhausted from trying to please everyone. It needs individuals who know who they are, understand where they are going, and have the discipline to stay on that path regardless of distractions. Let your confidence come from your character, not from compliments. Let your decisions be guided by purpose, not by pressure. Let your boundaries protect your future instead of your popularity.